If you are over 60 and your belly feels heavy, bloated, or tight, your colon is trying to tell you something. And what I am about to share may be the answer it has been waiting for. Here is what most people do not realize. After the age of 60, your colon slows down. The muscles that push waste through your intestines, they get weaker. The lining gets thinner, and the bacteria that are supposed to keep everything moving, a lot of them are gone. So things start to build up, quietly, day after day, and you get used to it. You think it is normal to feel bloated, normal to go 2 or 3 days without a proper bowel movement, normal to feel that heaviness in your lower belly that never quite goes away. It is not normal, and it does not have to stay that way. Tonight, I am going to show you 5 seeds. Each one works in a completely different way inside your colon. Some of them calm it, some of them protect it. One of them cleans it so deeply that researchers compared it to a medical-grade laxative, and it won. And all 5 of them get mixed with one single ingredient, honey, but not for the reason you think. See, honey is not just a sweetener. It contains certain sugars that your body cannot digest. They pass straight through your stomach, straight through your small intestine, and they land directly in your colon. And once they get there, they start feeding the good bacteria, the ones your gut has been starving for. A study published in Frontiers in Nutrition found that honey increases the population of 2 specific types of beneficial bacteria, and at the same time it reduces harmful ones like Salmonella and E. coli. So the honey is not decoration, it is the foundation. Every single mix I am about to show you starts the same way. 1 tablespoon of raw honey, a glass of warm water, empty stomach, first thing in the morning. Now we start with number 5, but let me tell you right now, number 1 is the one that shocked me. It has clinical trials on seniors, with results that made the researchers go back and double-check their own data. Number 5. Fennel seeds. If you have ever woken up and felt like your stomach was full of air, tight, bloated, uncomfortable, and no matter what you do, the gas just will not move, this seed was made for that exact moment. Fennel contains a compound called anethol. The name does not matter. What it does is what matters. It relaxes the muscles of your digestive tract. Picture your intestines like a tube that has been squeezed shut, clamped. Nothing can move through. Anethol loosens that grip. It opens the passage. And suddenly, the gas that was trapped starts to move. The bloating goes down. That pressure you felt in your lower belly, it releases. There is a reason why in India, in the Middle East, in parts of Africa, people have been chewing fennel seeds after heavy meals for centuries. Not as a tradition, because it works. A 2022 study found that fennel seed extract actually strengthened the intestinal barrier and reduced markers of inflammation in the colon wall. So it is not just about gas. It is about calming down an irritated gut. And here is something most people miss. 1 tablespoon of fennel seeds has over 2 grams of fiber. That is more fiber per gram than most fruits. The mix is simple. Crush or grind a teaspoon of fennel seeds. Stir it into a tablespoon of raw honey. Add warm water. Drink it first thing in the morning before you eat anything else. Give it 3 days. A lot of people notice the bloating starts to ease within the first 48 hours. Now, fennel works on the outside of the problem. It calms things down, but the next seed on this list works from the inside. It goes after something you cannot feel, but it is quietly damaging the wall of your colon every single day. Number 4. Black seed. Most people over 60 have something happening in their colon that they are completely unaware of. Low-grade chronic inflammation. It does not cause sharp pain. You will not end up in the emergency room because of it. But it is there, slowly weakening the lining of your intestines. Day after day, month after month, year after year, and this kind of silent inflammation is connected to things you really do not want to deal with later. Black seed contains a substance called thymoquinone, and this compound does 2 things at the same time. First, it cools down the inflammation. Like putting water on a slow-burning fire you did not even know was there. Second, it targets harmful bacteria without touching the beneficial ones. In a clinical trial, people took 2 grams of black seed powder daily for 8 weeks. Their symptoms improved, and the level of inflammation markers in their blood dropped noticeably. Another study found that it reduced the population of a specific type of harmful bacteria called E. coli in the gut. That is the same bacteria responsible for a lot of the discomfort people blame on sensitive stomachs. But here is what really caught my attention. In early laboratory research, thymoquinone showed the ability to slow down the growth of abnormal cells in the colon wall. The science is still in its early stages, but the fact that researchers are paying attention to it tells you something. The mix. Half a teaspoon of ground black seed, 1 tablespoon of raw honey, warm water, morning, empty stomach. And if this combination sounds familiar, it should. Honey and black seed have been used together for thousands of years across dozens of cultures. What is new is not the recipe. What is new is that science is finally beginning to explain why it worked all along. So fennel calms the colon, black seed protects it, but the next seed does something I did not expect when I first researched it. It repairs what has already been damaged. Number 3. Chia seeds. Have you ever put chia seeds in water and watched what happens? Within minutes they form this gel, thick, almost translucent, slightly slippery. That gel is exactly what your colon needs. Let me explain why. The inner wall of your colon is not as solid as you think, especially after 60. Over time, tiny microscopic gaps can form in the lining. You cannot see them, you cannot feel them. But through these gaps, things that should stay inside your intestines start leaking into your bloodstream. Toxins, undigested particles, bacteria fragments. Researchers call this increased intestinal permeability. You might have heard it called leaky gut. Whatever you call it, it is not good. When chia seeds form that gel inside your digestive tract, it coats the inner lining of the colon. It fills in those gaps. It creates a protective layer over the damaged areas. But it does more than just coat. Chia is roughly 1/3 fiber. That is one of the highest fiber concentrations you will find in any natural food. And when that fiber reaches your colon, your good bacteria ferment it and produce something called short-chain fatty acids. These fatty acids are the primary fuel source for the cells that make up your colon wall. They literally feed the cells that repair your gut lining. A 2024 study found that digested chia seed protein increased the production of tight junction proteins in the colon. Those are the proteins that hold the cells of your intestinal wall together. Stronger tight junctions mean a stronger barrier, fewer gaps, less leaking. And chia also improved stool moisture in animal studies. That means softer, easier bowel movements, without cramping, without urgency, without the harsh effects of chemical laxatives. Here is the mix. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds in a glass of warm water with a tablespoon of raw honey. Stir it, then wait 10 minutes. Let the gel form, then drink it. Morning, empty stomach. Chia is gentle. It does not shock your system. If your gut has been through a lot, if laxatives have left you feeling raw and irritated, chia is where you start. But the seed that comes next, it is not gentle. It works on a deeper level, much deeper, and most people in the West have never even heard of it. Number 2. Fenugreek seeds. Now we are in serious territory. Fenugreek is not a mild seed. It is not here to soothe or coat. It is here to move things that have been sitting inside your colon for far too long. Almost half of a fenugreek seed is fiber, 48%. That is extraordinary. And the type of fiber it contains is not ordinary either. It has a substance called galactomannan. I know, complicated name, but what it does is beautifully simple. It absorbs water, a lot of water. It swells up inside your intestines. It expands, and as it moves through your colon, it pushes everything in front of it, like a slow, thorough broom sweeping through a room that has not been cleaned in months. Many people who try fenugreek for the first time say they were surprised by what their body released, not because something was wrong, but because the waste had been accumulating, and there was simply nothing powerful enough to move it until now. And fenugreek does something else that surprised me. It reduces cholesterol absorption in the intestines. So while it is cleaning your colon, it is also doing your heart a favor. That is a combination you do not see often. The mix: 1 teaspoon of ground fenugreek seeds, or soak the whole seeds overnight in water and use them the next morning. Mix with a tablespoon of raw honey, warm water, empty stomach. One thing I want you to know: if you take medication for diabetes, talk to your doctor before using fenugreek regularly. It can lower blood sugar, and combined with your medication, it could bring it down more than expected. That is not a reason to avoid it. It is a reason to be smart about it. Now, everything I have told you so far, the fennel that calms, the black seed that protects, the chia that repairs, the fenugreek that sweeps, all of it steps aside for number 1. This seed has something none of the others have: actual clinical trials, conducted on people over 65. With results so clear, the researchers published them, and other scientists started building on that work immediately. Number 1, flaxseed. And it is not even close. Most seeds work in one way. Flaxseed works in 3 ways simultaneously, and that is why it sits alone at the top of this list. First, when ground flaxseed touches water inside your gut, it forms a mucilage, a slippery gel that coats the stool and softens it. No straining, no discomfort. Second, the insoluble fiber in flaxseed, the part that does not dissolve, adds bulk. it makes the stool heavier, and a heavier stool triggers the muscles of your colon to contract and push. Your body does it automatically. You do not have to force anything. Third, flaxseed still contains a small amount of natural oil, even after grinding. That oil acts as a lubricant inside your intestines. It reduces friction. It lets everything slide through more easily. A softener, a mover, and a lubricant. 3 mechanisms working together. Nothing else on this list does that. But here is where it gets truly remarkable. In 2022, a study was published on elderly patients with chronic constipation. Their ages ranged from 65 to 75. These were people who had been struggling for years, some of them for over a decade. They were given flaxseed daily. The result? 88% of them improved. Their bowel frequency increased, the bloating decreased, their anxiety about going to the bathroom, it went down. And here is the part that matters most to people who have been relying on laxatives for years. Their dependence on those laxatives dropped. 88% from a seed. Another trial took 90 people with chronic constipation and split them into 2 groups. One group received flaxseed, the other received a well-known medical laxative called lactulose. After 4 weeks, the people taking flaxseed saw their weekly bowel movements go from 2 to 7 without a single medication. The flaxseed group actually did better than the laxative group. And in yet another study, people with type 2 diabetes who were also constipated took just 10 grams of flaxseed daily for 12 weeks. Their constipation improved. They lost an average of 8 pounds. Their fasting blood sugar dropped. Their cholesterol dropped. All from one seed. But the thing that impressed me the most, the 2022 study on elderly patients found that flaxseed did not just clear the colon, it changed the bacterial environment inside it. The composition of their gut microbiome shifted. New populations of beneficial bacteria appeared. The diversity improved. It did not just clean the house, it changed who lives there. Here is how you use it. 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. This part is critical. It must be ground. Whole flax seeds pass through your body completely undigested. You get nothing from them. Grind them fresh if you can, or buy pre-ground and keep it in the refrigerator. Mix with 1 tablespoon of raw honey. Add a glass of warm water. Drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. And this is important. Drink a full extra glass of water after. The fiber in flaxseed needs water to expand and do its work. Without enough water, it can actually make things worse. So drink up. Start with a small teaspoon for the first few days. Let your gut adjust. Then work your way up to a full tablespoon. One more thing. If you are on blood-thinning medication, check with your doctor first. Flaxseed contains omega-3 fatty acids that can increase the effect of those medications. It is not a reason to avoid flaxseed. It is a reason to have a conversation with your doctor so you can use it safely. So now you have 5 tools, not 1, 5. Each one works in a completely different way. Fennel calms, black seed protects, chia repairs, fenugreek sweeps, and flaxseed rewrites everything. You do not need to take all 5 at once. Pick one. Start there. Try it for a week, then try another. Find the one your body responds to best. The rules are always the same. Raw honey, not the processed kind in the plastic bear bottle. Raw, warm water, empty stomach, first thing in the morning, and always, always drink enough water throughout the day. But the thing I did not talk about in this video is what happens when you add one specific drink at night, before bed. While these morning mixes work from one direction, that evening drink works from the other. The combined effect, morning and night, that is what changes the rules entirely. If what you learnt today helped you, send this to someone you care about. Someone over 60 who deals with this quietly and never talks about it, because a lot of people are struggling with this in silence. And sometimes, a single piece of information at the right time is all it takes.